book fan, it's fun. It makes my heart soar to see my fellow video game brethren finally getting a foothold in Hollywood as well. When the SEGA movie intro played before the sequel, just like it did the first one, I forgot that it played in front of the first one, but I looked it up and it did. Because again, I don't play video games, so it doesn't mean as much to me. But I was like, that's real cool. That's real nice. What a nice moment for SEGA fans. I don't know how many of you there are, but it was nice. And wow, I mean, I'm excited to see other video game companies get into this space. Halo, that's well, I don't like that show very much, and I'm curious, how did you feel after the first episode? Because the first episode was a lot better than the second one. But anyway, it's cool. Welcome to the party. But also, kudos to Paramount, who pulled out all the stops with Sonic 2. I have rarely seen such a slickly produced package. Woo! A huge diverse cast with everyone giving it their all. Tons of Jim Carrey, wall-to-wall Jim Carrey. Tons of VFX, all very well executed. Amazing locations, and a lot of story. This movie is 2 hours long with one mid-credit scene. And it's about 20 minutes longer than the first movie. And yet, even with all of that, I often was bored. It pains me to say it. I feel bad. I was like, should I really say it? But that was my overwhelming reaction to, I would say, 3/4 of the movie. I thought it ended very strong. I always tell you it's important how a movie ends. Sonic 2 ends very well. I think a lot of people will leave the theater being like, it wasn't that bad. I had fun. That's what you'll say, trying to make yourself believe it. I'm sorry. It has good moments. The children at my screening seemed delighted, though. They really did. And it's rare to see a live-action CGI hybrid film with so much going on in it across the board. So if you know any little kids, I think this is worth taking them to, because I think they'll feel like it's really sophisticated for them. They'll be like, wow, I got a lot of movie. But if you don't know any little kids, I mean, I don't even know if I would stream this, to be honest with you, unless you're like really into Sonic. So here's what I liked and what I didn't like. As you can see, love and hate are two strong emotions for this movie. I'm not that invested. All right, so what I liked. Jim Carrey, he looks fantastic. I mean, he didn't have thumb holes, but he might have as well have had. I'm like, what store do you shop at, Robotnik? I want that coat. I haven't seen Carrey in a role like this since The Grinch, and he has tons of screen time, and he ain't phoning it in. You see he's in the didn't like section as well. We'll get there. But I think his performance was a mixed bag, but there were definitely some things that I really enjoyed. I also thought it was very interesting to give him a Mr. Burns-Smithers type relationship with his assistant Stone, and I think we are seeing a lot of progress in big movies. This, of course, is nothing compared to Fantastic Beasts. My review for that will go up tomorrow morning when that embargo lifts. But this was something as well. But I thought it was, that was well done. Then James Marsden. Nobody can act opposite CGI characters like Marsden. It has become a specialty, right? It's on his resume. Might even be at the top of his resume. He makes a good living doing it. Natasha Rothwell. Rothwell is very funny here, and she has some great moments. Even an action scene. I mean, talk about taking what could have been a thankless role and making it a standout one. Rothwell teaches a master class in that here. She was fantastic. The mythology. This is truly a Sonic movie with lots of lore used throughout the film. I don't play any of the Sonic games, but I could tell this by the oohs, ahs, and gasps elicited by other members of the audience during my screening. And then Mr. Idris Elba. Oh, he is hilarious here. He's so good. He should voice more animated characters, especially if he's going to take it this seriously. But he's very, very funny. He's so funny. He has amazing comedic timing. He should get more comedic roles in live action. He should just be getting... I'm constantly feeling bad that Idris Elba doesn't have the career he deserves in Hollywood. He's so good. Idris Elba, he just shines here. He's fantastic, especially in the third act. Oh, he's so funny. He's very quotable. I wanted to leave the theater saying Knuckles' lines. You might want to go for ice cream after the movie, just something to put in your plans. And after you see it, you'll understand why. I enjoyed the movie a lot more whenever he was on screen, and I can totally see why he's getting his own spin-off series on Paramount Plus. I would actually be tempted to watch that. And again, I don't even play Sonic, and I didn't even care that much for this movie. But I'm like, oh, more Knuckles? Tell me more. Friendship. I really enjoyed seeing Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles together. I was like, what a great group of kids. But I also was like, we get a girl character in here? I want to play too. I really want them to add a girl. Music. They paid for a lot of songs here, which I think made a difference. It made the movie more fun. And when they played Bruno Mars, I did tap my toes when I was seated in the theater. I was like, great song. Loved it. And I appreciate the scale of the movie. Again, it goes to so many different places, and the VFX, there are just so many of them, and they're so well done. That made it a pleasant diversion in that regard. So I was like, I appreciate you and all the effort you clearly put into this movie, even though I don't like it very much. But anyway, so here's what I didn't like. Jim Carrey. Let's get back to Jim Carrey. I feel as Dr. Robotnik is too much like the Grinch, and he's just always on all the time. There are no levels or nuance to his performance, which the Grinch had. It's like he's just enthusiastically reading a very long list of puns. Some of them quite clever, but it was just too much. And then the writing on that note. Sonic, also, too many puns. It's just an avalanche of puns. And it gets old real fast. So I was like, okay, I get it. You guys are good at writing puns. Can you write some real dialogue? And they were like, no, we have more puns. I mean, little children might love the puns. So maybe that was very clever. But for adult viewers, it was a bit torturous. Sonic. I know he's supposed to be hyper, but I found Sonic a little grating this time around. And I also think Ben Schwartz might be a tad overexposed at this point, thanks to the first Sonic movie, so a little Ben Schwartz goes a long way. And while Sonic is supposed to be learning to be responsible during this movie, he starts out so irresponsible that I found it a little annoying. I was like, not cool, Sonic. He did have some cute moments, though. The airplane gag was very funny. Gun's mission, Gun being the government organization in play here, it's a surprise, so I won't ruin it. But it's in such bad taste. I can't believe it got past the idea stage all the way to the actual movie. I mean, there are no women writing, directing, or producing this movie, it seems, but what about, female executives? I think any woman who would have read this would have been like, no, take that out. I mean, at least I'd like to hope so, but somehow it made it into the movie. I thought it was not cool. I'm just really surprised. I was bad. So if you're really into Sonic the Hedgehog, I think you'll get a lot of bang for your buck with this movie. And I think little children will be delighted. They'll be like, wow, it's like a big, huge blockbuster. It's like an adult blockbuster for kids, basically. It has all those toys in it. But I think for pretty much everyone else, like non-Sonic fans and adults, it'll be tough to sit through. Get snacks. You'll need them. You'll need snacks to get through the movie if you're going with somebody else who was really into it. I mean, I don't think I could watch it again. And I watch most movies more than once. This would be tough I said that recently about the Atom Project as well. So if you did watch the Atom Project, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because, just the idea of someone being like, you want to watch that again? You're like, whew, I don't think I can do it. I'm sorry. So that is my very sad review of Sonic 2. I mean, it's a pretty movie. And I do want to know where Dr. Robotnik shops. And I loved his boots. He cut a dashing figure, I'll say that. And Knuckles. At least this movie gave us Knuckles. Love Knuckles. So share those thoughts down below. I know some of you have seen it, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Be careful with spoilers, though. I will do a spoiler review. Subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.